She pulled away, didn't she? She's now upset that you didn't pursue her. What if I told you that this is exactly what she wasn't expecting and why it's driving her crazy? In this video, we'll find out the truth behind her reaction and, more importantly, how you can handle it like the high-value man you are. Please stay with me as you'll see the game like most men never will. Why she pulled away, Iris Roberts and Gary Tiber. Okay, let's get back to it. Thanks for your help. Part 1. Why did she pull away in the first place? Modern relationships operate in a unique manner that often goes unspoken. Today's women have to deal with a world that is full of constant approval. People on social media enjoy receiving constant attention and compliments on their phones. For many, this constant affirmation becomes addicting because it boosts their self-worth. But it also creates a complicated dynamic in relationships where external validation competes with the genuine connection she might share with you. When she pulls away, it's rarely because she's lost interest. Instead, it's usually because she's testing to see how much power she has in the relationship and hoping that you'll chase her to validate her and feed into the ego cycle that modern culture has fueled. Women who are used to being chased often expect the chase as a sign of their desirableness. However, it's crucial to understand that if you choose not to pursue, it triggers a deeper response. When a woman pulls away, it's not just to test you, it's also a sign of her own insecurity. She's asking herself, will he fight for me? Will he prove that I'm worth it? If the response fails to meet her expectations, she might become angry or resentful. As a man, you need to understand this. She's trying to find a balance between wanting approval and fearing rejection. Dynamic chasing isn't the answer. It's a trap. As soon as you begin to pursue her, you give her more control over the relationship. Dynamic, and even worse, you tell her that your worth rests on her attention. This imbalance causes her to consistently distance herself, which is detrimental. She became upset when you didn't pursue her, even though she knew you would always follow her. By remaining firm and refusing to chase her, you disrupt this pattern and demonstrate that your value is independent of her manipulations. Instead of reacting emotionally, approach this situation with clarity and purpose, and ask yourself why she's pulling away. Is it a sign of something deeper in our relationship or of her own insecurities? Often, the best way to help her is to understand her fears instead of trying to win her support. This point of view is what sets high-value guys apart from others, those who get respect and admiration without giving up their own worth. Part 2. Why did she become upset when you didn't pursue her? When she pulls away, it's a power move. She likes to switch roles in this relationship until you chase her. However, if you defy her expectations and refrain from pursuing her, it may infuriate her. She's frustrated because your refusal to chase her challenges the basis of her power in the relationship. It makes her face an uncomfortable truth. Her actions didn't have the desired effect. Your lack of interest feels like rejection in a world where she's accustomed to pursuit. It's not just about you. The deeper meanings it has for her sense of power, validation, and self-worth are what we need to talk about next. Women from this generation often grow up in a society that prioritizes independence, yet also places significant importance on receiving approval from others. Social media amplifies this with likes, shares, and comments that act as constant reminders of their desirability. When she doesn't receive the expected response from you, it creates a void, a stark contrast to the validation she's used to. This void is where anger and frustration take root, but here's where it gets interesting. Her anger isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it's a signal that your behavior has set you apart from the crowd. Most men would have chased her and validated her actions, but by not doing so, you've shown her something rare, a man who doesn't rely on her attention for his sense of value. This angers her because it forces her to question her own approach to relationships. It forces her to consider that her usual strategies don't work on you. From a Stoic perspective, this is a powerful moment. Instead of reacting to her anger, stay grounded and let her emotions play out without losing your own sense of balance. She is the one who needs to deal with her anger, not you. By staying calm, you show that you are a man who earns respect, not through force or manipulation, but through strong self-worth. Remember that anger often turns into admiration when she thinks about it later. In a world where so many men are desperate for attention, your refusal to chase her may be seen as a sign of your strength, and that strength is what sets high-value men apart from the rest. Part 3. The power of not chasing in modern relationships. Not chasing isn't just about winning the power struggle, it's also about having a mindset of abundance. Today's dating scene often perceives men who chase as desperate or lacking options, but views men who stand firm and prioritize their purpose and self-respect as valuable and rare. How does a man who isn't chased stand out? He shows that he doesn't need anyone else to be happy or feel like he's important. In an age where showy confidence often hides real confidence, this level of independence and self-confidence is attractive. Not chasing doesn't mean you're cold or uninterested. It means you know what you're worth and won't give it up. It means setting limits to maintain your peace and only spending time in respectful, mutually satisfying relationships. The effects of chasing on your mind. If you don't chase, you show that your time is important, and not everyone has the right to it. This way of thinking not only helps you, but it also creates a healthier relationship dynamic. When you don't chase her, you ask her to join a relationship based on mutual respect and effort. It's no longer about GES or tests. It's about two people choosing to invest in each other out of genuine interest and worth. From a Stoic point of view, not chasing is a way to improve your self-control. It's a promise to live by your values instead of giving in to temporary feelings or societal pressures. The book is about being yourself even when everyone else tells you to change. Being yourself brings the right people into your life. Section 4. How social media reinforces her standards. Social media has completely changed how relationships work in this generation. Apps like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat provide a constant stream of approval. A single post can get dozens or even hundreds of likes and comments, making attention a valuable commodity. Women, particularly those who dedicate significant time to social media, become accustomed to this loop of validation. It's no longer just about personal connections. It's about how many people are watching. When she pulls away, she often expects you to act like the other people who flood her DMs or comment on her pictures. These interactions have taught her to expect instant responses to any move she makes. But when you don't react, it leaves a gap in her experience that's challenging for her to process. You may be aware of this, but social media has shaped her expectations in a way that real-life interactions can't always match. Your lack of response not only confuses her, but also annoys her, as it leaves her wondering what sets you apart from everyone else. This is where her anger comes from. This is often because she's dealing with an experience that doesn't fit with the validation-fueled dynamics she's used to. Your ability to resist this pull as a Stoic man distinguishes you. It demonstrates your groundedness in reality and avoidance of superficiality. If you don't play along with the shallow games that social media encourages, you not only challenge her expectations, but also invite her to rise above them and connect with you on a deeper, more meaningful level. This doesn't mean that all women are intentionally manipulative. It just means that they're navigating a world that encourages these behaviors. Part 5. The psychological effects of chasing. Chasing someone who pulls away sends a strong psychological message. Your attention is what makes me valuable. This can hurt you in two ways. First, it makes her feel like she's in charge. Second, it lowers your value in both her eyes and your own. Let's look at this more closely. Human psychology inherently values things that are difficult to obtain or scarce. Chasing makes you easy to find, which eliminates any sense of mystery or intrigue. If she doesn't work for your attention, she values it less. This can lead to a vicious cycle where she continues to distance herself, knowing that you will always return. However, it also negatively impacts you. Each time you pursue her, your self-esteem diminishes. Over time, you become dependent on her approval, which can hurt your confidence and make you feel helpless in the relationship. The only way to break this cycle is to stop chasing her. This will restore your self-worth and demonstrate to both her and yourself that your value is independent of her actions. This mental shift is what makes high-value men stand out. Building attraction by not chasing means knowing that their worth comes from inside, not from acceptance or validation from others. When your emotions are at their peak, such as when she withdraws or becomes agitated, Stoicism proves to be an invaluable companion. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. Instead of reacting quickly to her actions, you learn to respond thoughtfully and with purpose. When she pulls away, your Stoic mindset reminds you that her behavior isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of her own fears, insecurities, or emotional patterns. By staying grounded and calm, you take back control of the story. You don't let her actions determine your feelings or sense of self-worth. Stoicism also helps you see the bigger picture. You can step back and observe what's happening instead of becoming engrossed in the present. If you practice Stoicism, you can ask yourself, is this relationship serving you? Are her actions in line with the kind of partnership you want? Answering these questions becomes simpler when you resist the urge to pursue or react emotionally. You not only deal with her behavior with grace, but you also find inner peace that makes every part of your life better. Whether they realize it or not, women deeply gravitate towards this kind of strength. It's the strength of a man who knows himself and doesn't need approval from others to feel whole. Time and limits can be very helpful. The seventh part focuses on how not to proceed with builds. Appeal for real. Attraction is about your energy, confidence, and adherence to your values, not just your appearance. When you don't chase after her, you give off an air of confidence that is incredibly beautiful. You're no longer just another person trying to get her attention. You're someone who deserves respect without asking for it. Your refusal to conform also lends you an air of mystery. In a world where most men are quick to follow, your choice to stand your ground makes you stand out. This piques her curiosity and prompts her to explore what sets you apart. The answer to this question is the basis of real love. Being real and sure of who you are is more important than playing games. But here's the thing. Not following her doesn't mean ignoring her or being cold. It means setting limits and showing her that you value yourself as much as you value her. It's this balance that makes Listen a place where people value each other and connect more deeply. Section 8. Why making limits is important. Setting clear boundaries lets the other person know what you will and will not put up with. Don't be controlling. Respect yourself enough to expect the same from others. When she pulls away, it's a chance to reinforce your boundaries. Instead of chasing her, you can calmly say what you expect from the relationship. For example, you could say, I value open communication, and if something's bothering you, I'd rather we talk about it than play games. This sets the tone for better relationships and shows her you're not afraid to discuss issues head-on. Section 9. There are long-term benefits to staying true to yourself. At the time, not chasing after her might feel hard. You might worry about losing her or question whether you're making the right choice. But in the end, putting your self-respect and values first always pays off. You attract relationships that are truly fulfilling. You build connections based on mutual respect and hard work instead of games or manipulation. And most importantly, you develop inner peace and confidence that no one can take away from you. If you like this video, please hit like and leave a comment. You can also subscribe to see more videos like this.